Hi friends, welcome to Harmony Hills Home and Garden. I'm Jenny and we're gardening here in Baltimore, Maryland, Zone 7. Okay, so I'm going to be putting these pansies into these fence post containers, and I'm hoping that the pansies will at least survive over the winter, and then come spring they will start to flush out again with beautiful white flowers. And so that's the project for today. I don't know if I have the right amount of pansies for these containers, but we're going to see what we have. These containers had what is this? This is the bubblegum pink supertunia from Proven Winners. And then at the end of the season, I just stuck in these branches that have the Echinacea purpurea, the purple coneflower seed heads. I'm going to save these seed heads because, as you can see, the goldfinches are definitely eating the seeds off of here. And there's plenty left. So I'm going to try to save these stems and put them somewhere in the garden. I'm not sure where, but somewhere, so that the birds can continue to have access to them as a food source. They are not very sightly though, so it is time to do something more decorative in these containers. The petunias I'm just going to toss. If I had been a better gardener, they would have done better, but I didn't have an irrigation plan for them, and also I didn't have a fertilizing schedule that would have helped them. So they struggled along. This was not the best way to treat your supertunias. So I'm just fluffing up this root ball soil. The petunias that I'm going to put in here, they don't really require a whole lot of super fertile soil. And also, I mean, the petunias didn't really use it very much. I will be adding some, I'll probably throw some biotone in here for the petunias to use. So I'm just gonna do this same process with all of these. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna dump this soil out into this green tray, and I'm gonna just fluff it up with my hands, and then I'll use that as my potting soil. Let me move this. And that'll let me get most of these roots out of here. And so the pansies will be happier. You'll find a lot of different advice over the internet about whether or not you should use fresh soil for every container that you ever make. And clearly, I'm of the mind that you don't have to use fresh soil for every container that you ever make. On the other hand, my containers didn't perform very well, so there you go. But this was fresh soil when I started them. Move these out of here. I will have purple coneflowers sprouting up from my pansy pots, which wouldn't be a terrible thing. But let me just see if I can get these seeds out of here. Okay, so I've got the 4 pots emptied, and I've got my soil, mostly sorted through. There are still some root fibers in here. You can still see them. But I think, I'm not an expert, so don't take me at this as gospel, but I'm pretty sure that these roots in here will actually decompose and give some more organic matter to the plants. And also, this would be when these rot in the soil, at least that's what happens in the ground. When these rot in the soil, then the microorganisms that are in the soil use the old root channels as basically a superhighway to go through the soil, lighten the soil, and make it more friable. So I think it's actually not a terrible idea to leave a little bit of root material in your soil. Phew. This is Biotone Starter Fertilizer. I could also use Plant Tone or Flower Tone. Really, any fertilizer that you like, you can use in this kind of a project. The soil that's here, it probably doesn't have much nutrient value left. It was a potting soil for containers that I used when I originally potted up the petunias. And I'm sure that any nutrient value that was in that soil at the beginning is leached out now, because I think I only fertilized it like twice ever in the whole summer. So I'm just going to mix this in, and that will give these pansies something to be nourished by through the winter. And Biotone is designed for root formulation and root health, and that's a great thing for these because I want them to really root into these containers so that when the spring weather comes, they will burst forth and have developed a wonderful root structure and then be ready to put out a flush of gorgeous new growth in the spring. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times 8, which is what? Somebody help me. 48 plants and 4 pots. I have way more pots, way more plants than I need, which is good because then I'll have some left over to do something else with. So let's see. I wonder how many I should aim for. I think each container could easily take 5 of these because they're small. That only uses up 20 of them, and then I'd have 28 left, so maybe I'll put 6 in each pot. Yeah, let's aim for that, see what it looks like. Now I picked these pansies up at Lowe's, and they're getting a little bit leggy. But they're just these little cells. I'm just gonna stick my fingers down in here and pop that in there. And I'm just gonna do that 6 times. Pretty much jamming these root balls together. It's a small pot, it's a long winter, they'll be fine. And so I put 6 in there in a ring, and now I'm going to actually put a 7th one in the center. Tucking the soil down around those root balls really firmly, although I don't want it to be like concrete in there, but I don't want them wiggling around. And I'm going to just top it off with a little bit more soil. Alright, there's one done. It looks kind of raggedy, but I think it'll be fine. My theory anyway. Alright, I'm just going to do the rest of these in the same way. 7 per pot. Now that I know I'm planting 7 in each container, anytime I'm doing 6 of something in a ring, I like to do them on opposite sides. Do one here, and then I will do like one here, and then one here, and one here. And that way I know that my spacing is correct. If I were to, I've done this before 100 times, if I start here and just try to go around and evenly space, I'm not able to get them evenly spaced that way. So. Alright, so I have 1 here already, so I'm going to put 1 here at basically 6 o'clock on the clock, and then 1 at 12, creating a nice straight line through there. Alright, and now I just envision where is 2 o'clock and where is 4 o'clock, and I put my spacing around that way. So, 1 over here, 2 o'clock. And now I'm going to come across here. This is 12, this is 6, this is 2, so 8 o'clock goes right here. And that leaves me 4 and 10. There you go. 7 in a nice circle, evenly spaced. So what I thought I would do with these containers is fill them up with white pansies, and then because they're in the black pots, the white pansies will be a striking look with the pots, and then 2 of them will go on the front white fence, and the white will blend in a little bit to the white fence up there. That's okay. It's kind of a sleek monochromatic look, and I don't mind that. And then the other 2 will go on the back fence, which is wood toned fence, and so the white flowers will show up pretty nicely there. And so I'm hoping that the deer will stay off of them. I will be spraying them. the rabbits, luckily the rabbits won't be able to get to them. But what I thought I would do for the Christmas season is put some sprigs of greenery, leftover trimmings from trees or wreaths or whatever. Put some sprigs of greenery kind of in a fountain shape in the center. So it'll be white pansies around the bottom and then sprigs of green. And then if I can find some red berries, either holly bushes from the yard or from my neighbors that I asked permission to take cuttings from, or maybe some nandina berries or something red as an accent color. So these are going to become holiday planters in my mind's eye. We'll see if it works out. I need to keep them fertilized. I need to keep them watered. Hopefully we won't have a brutal killing freeze since they are just in containers. It could freeze the root balls, but hopefully not before Christmas. So we'll see about that. So that's my plan, and that's what I'm going to do here. Now I do have, let's see, it looks like 16, 20 or so left. And so I'm going to find some other containers just to put them in for enjoyment purposes. Well, that about does it for me today. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you have any questions or comments, put them in the comment section down below. And let me know what you're doing in your fall garden right now. Is it bulb planting season? I have that on my to-do list. Is it annual planting for the winter, cold hardy annuals? Let me know what you're doing. And thanks for joining me. I hope you'll come back and watch another video sometime real soon. Take care, friends. Bye.